Tonight, the suspect of bomb threats at WSU pleads guilty.
A high schooler runs for Seattle Public School superintendent.
And governors from Washington and Idaho sign very different abortion bills into law. Murrow News 8 starts now.
Great day of news.
From Studio B on the campus of Washington State University, this is Pullman's only nightly newscast. This is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Ian Smay.
And I'm Alex Scully. Welcome to Murrow News 8.
The person responsible for the shooting death of an 18-year-old Pullman man received a sentence today. 17-year-old Keegan Tennant will serve up to 25 years behind bars after pleading guilty to involuntary manslaughter and robbery. This comes after Tennant shot Timothy Reeves during a camping trip last summer. Tennant will begin his sentence in juvenile custody until age 21, when a judge will review his sentence.
Boeing plans to build a new mid-market airplane, and Governor Jay Inslee lobbied for Washington to host this new market. Governor Inslee created the Choose Washington and New Mid-Market Airplane Council to create an aerospace workshop for the overall production of the new aircraft. WSU professor and First Lady Dr. Noelle Schulz will co-chair the new council with former Washington State Labor President Rick Bender. The Associated Students of Washington State University senators passed a resolution asking WSU officials to remove sexual history as a factor during student conduct proceedings. One of the bill authors, Senator Jacob Lizarraga, said this bill is a way to work against, quote, slut shaming, end quote. The resolution aims to make sure sexual history will not be evidence in sexual assault cases. ASWSU partnered with the University Recreation Center to hold a trial run for 1 month of 90 minutes of free parking at the rec. This trial helps students, and now the university will change the policy. Kui Hug is parked at the rec with the specifics of the change.
Thanks, Alec. Free parking at the rec now extends indefinitely. The UREC collected comment cards through March 19th, and Jeff Elbrick, the facility director and member of the UREC board, says 90% of the people liked the free month trial. There was no direct increase in rec use, even though students reported that the trial eliminated an excuse for not working out.
So, without students paying for parking, how will the rec pay for the parking lot?
Well, Alec, the bookie contributes roughly $65,000 a year to ASWSU. Now ASWSU will need to reallocate approximately $35,000 of that money to pay for parking. Kui Hug, Murrow News 8.
Prices of homes in Pullman continue to rise, which could lead to higher rent costs in the future. Jesse Maywald talked with some experts in Pullman to hear what they believe the strong housing market could mean for everyone in Pullman.
Veros Real Estate Solutions recently published that home prices in Washington will continue to grow with an estimated appreciation rate of 4.2% annually.
Buyer confidence is up. Interest rates are still really low, but there's a threat of them rising. So buyers feel like now is a great time to lock it in. But new construction and resale can't keep up with our growth. So we have more buyers than sellers.
A problem with not having enough homes on the market compared to the number of people buying them leads to very high closing prices and quick closing dates on homes that do become available.
I wanted to find something that I didn't really have to put a lot of money into, and it seemed like a lot of the properties were either overpriced or there was just too much work that was needed to make it the way I picture it.
Pullman's real estate market is similar to a game of Monopoly. In the beginning, the market has tons of available homes as players don't necessarily have a ton of money. However, later in the game, players get more funds and eventually all the homes become bought immediately upon a landing on them. Pullman houses also get bought quickly in today's market.
It's difficult for people to get out of rent and into buying a home because the prices here are substantially higher.
A balanced real estate market would have around a 5 to 6 month supply of homes for sale. Since January of 2018, most markets across Washington had less than a 2-month supply of homes for sale. Jesse Maywald, Murrow News 8.
What about you? Are you living on campus or off campus this semester?
I'm living off campus in my fraternity. I'll be living in a house next year, though.
I'm in an apartment now, but when we come back, a mosque in Bellevue, Washington suffers fire damage.
And Oregon imposes tighter gun laws right after the break.
No more pencils, no more books.
No more teachers' dirty looks.
for summer.
School's out forever.
School out with fever.
School's out completely.
What this place needed was better graduation rates. So we worked with schools like Henry Ford High, and now they're up 18%. And it can happen in every place.
School's out for summer.
To help us do more good this year, go to unitedway.org, because great things happen when we live united.
A Bellevue mosque official says he thinks an arsonist started yesterday's fire. Firefighters responded to reports of flames at the Islamic Center of Eastside Bellevue around 4:30 yesterday afternoon. Fire covered most of the building when help arrived, but it only took firefighters 30 minutes to contain the blaze in the vacant building.
There's that scare, there's the fear, that tension. What if this was a functional mosque and we were inside? What if it's the hate crime?
When Isaac Wayne Wilson pleaded guilty to setting the building on fire, Wilson finished his sentence earlier this month, but police arrested Wilson again earlier today for failing to report to a corrections officer. The FBI and the Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms have joined the investigation.
A 15-year-old from Franklin High School in Seattle will run for superintendent position in her own school district. The school district announced they want a non-traditional type of candidate, and India Unwin fits that description. She wants to improve the school district as much as she can and will focus on finances. If she gets a job, she will replace current superintendent Larry Nyland. Governor Jay Inslee signed a bill that protects high school and college students' rights to publish and speak freely in school-sponsored media. Under the new law, editors have full responsibility to determine what goes into their publication or broadcast. High school administrators have the right to review content before it is published, but can't edit any material before publishing unless it includes libel or slanderous content.
A new Washington state law aims to begin closing the gender pay gap through transparency. This updated law gives guidelines to what could constitute wage discrimination in the workplace and states that workers can openly talk about salaries without retaliation from employers. Governor Jay Inslee signed the bill into law the same day Starbucks announced they achieved that same type of pay equity. Governor Inslee also made moves to change abortion laws in Washington state. Yesterday, Governor Inslee signed a new measure that requires Washington insurers who offer maternity care to also cover elective abortions and contraception. The new bill requires health plans to provide voluntary sterilization and any other consultations or other necessary medical procedures. The law, called the Reproductive Parity Act, makes changes to the federal laws in Obamacare. While Washington Governor Jay Inslee now leans left in the new abortion laws, Idaho Governor Butch Otter signed a proposal into law that places new restrictions on abortions. The new law requires women seeking abortions to be informed that now doctors and nurses can stop the drug-induced procedure involved in abortions halfway through. The law will go into effect on July 1st.
Interfaith Religious 42, a religious group in Portland, proposed a law that would ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines throughout the state in an effort to prevent mass shootings. The proposal also requires gun owners to either surrender or register their assault weapons or face felony charges. The group needs to gather 88,000 signatures by July 6 to get the measure on the ballots for election season in November. The proposal defines assault weapons as any semi-automatic rifle that can hold a detachable magazine or carry more than 10 rounds of ammo. Also in Oregon, the Department of Agriculture agreed to let Lost Valley Farm, a mega dairy ranch, continue their operations under a new settlement. This settlement comes after the ranch repeatedly violated their permits, which led to the state threatening to shut down its operations in a February lawsuit. The agreement requires Lost Valley to notify the state after wastewater or a manure spill, and for them to remove almost 25 million gallons of liquid manure by summer. Aiming to improve environmental conditions in Oregon, an expansion at the Portland International Airport will use eco-friendly wood products for renovation of the core terminal area. Planners will use cross-laminated timber for building, which is comparable to steel and concrete. Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler says mass timber is the next engine of Portland's timber industry, and studies suggest it could add as much as $1 billion annually to the Portland economy.
I've actually never flown out of Portland.
Really? I'm going down there soon, actually. Great city.
Yep. Well, coming up, clouds fill the sky, but will they last for long?
Charlie Nelson brings us up to speed on the spring forecast. Stay tuned.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
When you're out there, there's no telling what you'll find.
I see it, I see it! Oh, look at you.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Today in Pullman, we welcome the first spring showers of the season. Let's go to Charlie Nelson with the weather to see how long the rain will stick around. Charlie?
Thanks, Ian. We did start out with some rain this morning and into the afternoon, but it should be slowing down about now. We're about 41 degrees outside, and we had highs of 52 and lows of 49 today. So although it was raining, the temperature is starting to heat up as we're getting into spring. But rain has been all over the state today. If we look on the east side, temperatures are rising with 51 in Wenatchee, 56 in Spokane, and then 52 in Pullman. We're also seeing a lot of rain everywhere except for Spokane. And then, of course, on the west side, we still got the rain. Temperatures are also rising over here, so that's a great sign into the spring. Tomorrow, it's still going to be a little chilly with mostly clouds throughout the day and an average of 44 in the afternoon. So even though temperatures are rising, it is still going to be cold outside. So don't forget a sweater, don't forget a sweatshirt. And for the rest of the week, you can also see some cloud coverage with the sun coming up and then a high of 55 over on Wednesday. So expect good weather on Wednesday, and that's all I have for you guys. Thank you.
Wow, I'm really ready for some more temperatures.
Oh, me too.
When we return, a photographer from Ferndale, Washington highlights the beauty of scars. We'll be right back.
I'm one unlucky guy. The chance of being involved in a robbery is 1 in 757. The chances of being struck by lightning. 1 in 750,000.
Please fasten your seatbelts for unexpected turbulence.
The chances of being a victim in an airline crash? 1 in 29 million. Hey, could I get some peanuts? The chances of being involved in a car crash are far greater than lightning strikes and plane crashes. And if you are texting while driving, your risk of crash increases 23 times. Now, I may be an unlucky guy, but I don't have to be part of that statistic, and neither do you. Drive responsibly.
A portrait and fine art nude photographer seeks to break stigmas on scars through a Kickstarter-funded book. Amy Woodward's Kintsugi project, named after the Japanese art of pottery repair, will feature over 50 scar-related stories to empathize the strength and power of healing associated with them. Some story topics include body image and motherhood. Thank you for watching. Join us every weeknight at 7 and 10 p.m. for Pullman's only nightly newscast.
Have a great night, and don't forget to follow Murrow News 8 on Facebook and Twitter.
Good night, Pullman.